Okay, so hello, I'm Tyler Crook, the chair of the library committee, and we're going to call to order. This is my first time doing this, so it's going to be really.
You're going to be great.
So the thing is being recorded. So let's do the attendance. Tyler Crook, I'm here. Carla.
I'm here.
Will. Here. Capola.
Here.
Tracy. Not here. Emily.
Here from a distance.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, great.
Dave. Not here. Robin. Not here. Isla. Here. Other.
You have a guest?
Here.
Here.
Yeah. And this one too. And a guest.
Okay, so do we have any additions or questions or changes to the agenda?
I propose a correction. Oh, no, wait, not to the agenda. Excuse me, I'm
To the
jumping ahead
minutes?
to the minutes. Yes, not to the agenda.
Okay. So the meeting notes for May 17th.
This is where I propose a correction. Down under new business 4A, Carla Johnson will step up to interim library director instead of city manager.
You don't want to be the city manager too? I didn't know this whole time I could share.
This close to power. Okay, duly noted. Thank you, Capola. All right, so let's get started with the reports. The interim library director, Carla.
Okay. I have nothing to report except it's been great. Little adjusting. Had a lot of fun in the summer with the teens. And I'm going to basically just let Richie do my report for me because it's all about the summer and I want you guys to hear about the kids in the summer and what we did.
Okay.
So I just have some notes here. I've been filling out the survey, which is a bit of a beast, but getting to see all the numbers, it's pretty impressive. We did a combined total of 30 programs this summer, 3 performers. We did a splash pad program every Friday where I provided a meal and alongside Meredith, that was for 8 weeks. And then a blue bin and a storytime program for each Wednesday. We had National Night Out on August 2nd, and I can't say for a fact that it was 700 children, but we served over 700 members of the community that night. Felt like Chuck E. Cheese a little bit in the park. It was a lot of fun. So going back really quick, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Summer Splash, which I thought was just kind of be a fun little thing that I did for my son and then for the community this summer, but it turned out to be really vital. The kids, especially the teens, everybody needed a meal. The school had been providing one Monday through Thursday, so I provided one Friday for them. And when we were getting ready to wrap things up, the kids were coming up to me asking if it was going to continue, which I of course had to tell them no, because we did not, have the funding or anything to continue doing that. So maybe it would be cool to try and workshop something with the school for next summer so that we can try and maybe put more meals in the kids' mouths so there's less acute hunger in our community. So that's a bit of a bummer. We will go into a little bit of a happier thing now, and we'll talk about the summer reading program and how many people signed up for it. We had 71 kids in June alone sign up, and then a little less than half that in July. So a little over 100 kids signed up for the summer reading program this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of how far away the kids were coming?
Grand Pond, a couple from Sheridan, and just a ton from our own community, like lots of kids coming down from school and stuff, not having anything to do for the summer, so it was fun to give them an outlet.
That's awesome.
Yeah. This was kind of my first time doing a lot of that on my own, and we learned some really cool things this summer. Mostly that kids like reading, and if you give them something simple like a challenge of reading and then some cool prizes, they will come in and talk at you about what that prize is, what books they've been reading. It was an incredibly engaging experience. I think that when things got really hard, that was a really good refill for all of our cups, seeing like all of the kids just having a blast. Kate Fola's kid, Anu, just knocked it out of the park. Like, kind of had to get bigger prizes because the kids were reading so voraciously. That is about all I had really from it. So if there's any questions or anything, I can take them.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, do you have a good sense of what age ranges use the library summer reading program?
So it was, I can safely say, like, I'm sorry to do this, but it was about age 7 to age 15. There was a decent amount of teens, but like a lot of them, when they realized that there wasn't anything for them yet, those teenagers kind of wandered off and did their own thing. We're just reading for the fun of it. But the kids, especially, I would say there was a strong presence of, 7 to 15 would be the numbers I would guess. Yes, that sounds more confident.
I just want to say, if any of you have any questions for me other than about the summer reading program, about the library or what's going on as interim library director, it's fine if you want to ask. I'm not a talker, so I'm just like, okay, I'll let me talk. But I will answer any questions.
Like coffee.
Well, I think that's probably it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then we're moving on to the library board member reports. And what library board like subcommittees are going right now? Because we have the fundraising committee. What else do we got? Is that kind of it right now?
Tracy, yeah, he's not here. He would report on other stuff.
I was kind of give a real short report on the net lending funds that I've been working on.
Go for it. Yeah, let's hear about it.
By the way, the last meeting we had, Tyler, I think you mentioned or prompted me somehow to look for books in the kids area, like Spot the Cat in the late library book, Manners in the library, Manners with library books, and Just Self. Thank you.
I don't remember that, but that's awesome.
And they're not taken out every time, so they'll be taken out a few times every year, or this year. So that was cool.
That's fantastic.
The thing that started this, Comic Habits, it started for me. When I checked it out, there were 17 copies in the different libraries, and there were still 28 folds after being published the previous year and a half. And I thought, wow, this is awesome. And I scanned it when it first came out, but I didn't really hook into it. And then I did. I bought a copy for me, for my daughter. Oh, for the school library. I want to check with Robin and see if anyone checked it out. Had been checked out 10 times, and this morning was checked out for number 11. So it's only came back here one time, this particular book. I have not batted 100% with all the books that I bought. The Big Lie, I don't think anyone's checked that out. The Silent Invasion by Dr. Brooks, about how the pandemic was handled in America that checked out a few times. And I'm really happy about that, but mainly I'm working on net lending. Finding things that are very, very popular and that are not very many libraries have them, and there are a lot of holes. What else?
I think that's so neat. Like, I think that's such a great idea, just because it like identifies the need for the community and just answers it like easy peasy. Like, that's fantastic.
One other item, and I'm positive it works this way. In net lending, if I check out a book from Salem and I bring it back 2 days early, they already automatically renewed it. In fact, they'll do it 5 days, the morning of five days before it's due. They will automatically renew. And that helps out when the other people check out our library books, but it hurts us when we check out from other libraries. So just to let you know, not that it'll show all our customers how to do it, but you have to bring it back and get it checked in 6 days before it's due. And that way they won't add another net lending to their
Gotcha.
tally.
Did not know that.
So, and that's it. Anyone have any questions on that net lending available?
I don't have a question, but I can offer some statistics.
Great.
So for the 21-22 year, our library loaned 23,486 circulations, and we borrowed 15,139 circulations. What I mean by circulation is there is a difference. I've got first time circulations, the first time the items checked out, and then renewals as well is also a number. But that would be our total loans, which we are a lending library, and then our total borrows. And that'll be coming on the state statistical reports. I just printed those out today. So.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, Will. You've been driving that need and identifying those needs, which I think has increased our loan capacity and ability. So,
and if anyone picks up on, oh, this book is really hot, and a lot of people are like, I'm number 24 in line to get it loaned out to me, let me know. Because if it's not on Sarah's buying list, I might be able to put it on mine.
okay.
Fantastic.
Great. I'll do a report also, if that's okay, from the fundraising committee. We've actually had 2 meetings since the last library board meeting, and things are going really great. Right now we're focusing on a books and things sale to happen during the art tour. And we're going to be located right here in the library. They can see our beautiful space, and we will have a featured artist, Linda Vokes, with all of her handmade bags and personal care lotions and lip balm and that kind of personal care items. And so we will be on the map. And so folks will have to visit us and hopefully spend lots of money. And we'll also have a bake sale going, and we'll be featuring, if anyone's noticed here at the library, these beautiful ceramic houses by Department 56. We will be selling these and featuring these at the Books and Things sale. Carla has actually started selling them for us already here at the library, and we've made over $100 so far, which is excellent. Yes, so nice. We're already kicking off there, and we'll be doing a sign-up sheet for the work hours. It'll go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because we'll be setting up Thursday, working Friday, Saturday, and doing a bake sale sign-up sheet. So I'll send it to all the board members as well and see if you would like to participate in either the bake sale or helping us out with the venue or at the event. Our next meeting will be prior to the art tour sale, which is November 6th at 2 p.m. And I'll continue to remind you at the next meeting until then. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just a quick question. Are you
Yeah.
looking for anything to sell at the thing, like you said, books and stuff? My friend just gave me several signed books from the authors that like I don't have a use for. So that would probably be something that would be valuable. I don't know, people like signed things, especially by the person who wrote the thing.
Well, that would be excellent. We're always looking for donations of any kind that you would like to provide to us. We do have some local artists who will be donating. Jennifer Kent will be donating some of her jewelry for us to sell, and there may be some other artists as well. So please, yes, we will take donations.
What is the date for that?
That will be November 11th and 12th. Yeah, I was gonna say 10.
That's set up day.
Set up, yeah.
Okay. And I think next is Sarah Frost with city updates.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's my very first library board meeting as interim city manager. I first of all want to give kudos to Carla and Richie for making it through the summer unexpectedly without an extra whole person. So well done. It was so busy. I could see from the window. It was so busy. Special kudos to Richie. Thank you. That was your first summer reading program start to finish. Yeah. And you did it. And I feel like in my 6.5 years at the library, every librarian has been, well, here's summer reading. Good luck. And you pulled it off swimmingly. So kudos. We had our team, Sydney May. Her last day was August 31st, and then she went on to her junior year in high school. And we are very fortunate in that Mac Roberts will be staying on with the library through the rest of the calendar year as a part-time limited duration library assistant, just to help support the staff here with those hours that are still under with my departure from the library for the next few months. So, so that is library support. I visited with Carla today to get all of the statistics because it is that time of year again too for the library statistical report. So in the next couple of months, you should all expect to see those yearly statistics and a recap from those numbers as well coming your way. But as you could tell just from our lending numbers, it was a wonderful year coming back to normal. Mostly back to normal. There's no such thing as normal anymore. What can I tell you? So there's probably so much that you would like to know. I'm not coming back anytime soon, but I will be coming back. Bridget and I have been just chomping away at all of the city projects, and I'm very fortunate to have had Bridget over there, much like I have the staff over here, to help guide me, as it's been an amazing learning experience, definitely. I was not as prepared to understand the scope of that role as one would think maybe, but it's been a fun adventure. The city is under a lot of infrastructure projects right now. So, and then even though it seems like things just kind of happen back to back to back, the city is going through its audit process here shortly, and then it'll go right into its budgeting process, all probably between now and the end of the calendar year. So I will continue to help Bridget and the team over there and support them more in a supportive role for some of those continuing processes, because I won't be a part of them in the future, where most of them will be. So for those types of projects, I'll be more of a guiding force and reassuring them that they can do it, and then helping where needed.
Is the audit and budget process, is that an annual thing?
Every year. Okay. Yeah. So, and it's amazing to watch it all unfold and happen. I've been very spoiled over here at the library, and just being able to manage the day-to-day operations over here and just have to handle my itty bitty tiny library budget as part of the scope of the whole entire process. So it is interesting to see it unfold. And like I said, I'm learning a lot. So infrastructure projects, we're currently overseeing the water intake and improvement project, which was a project that I came into the middle of. And then the city does have some planning and development projects underway. And then we have a wastewater lift station capacity improvement project. And then that ties into our wastewater master plan project as well. So there's several projects happening right now that I have my fingers in, and probably will have my fingers in, even potentially after the recruitment is finished, just because I will want to help be a good support for the next person to not just get thrown into all of these projects. And then the city manager recruitment, it has been underway. The position went to recruitment at the end of July. And the first review of applications was the end of August, and now we're in September, and the Council of Governments is overseeing the recruitment for that position, and they've met with the City Council in executive session to discuss that, and it sounds like they'll be moving forward with potential candidate or candidates to talk to them in the next month or so. So I'm kind of more of an outline force in that process. I schedule the meetings and make sure that they can happen, and everything gets posted as it needs to be, and I will continue to support that process as it unfolds. Other than that, I am also planning the trunk or treat event, which is happening October 31st. And that's the fun part of the job. And I invite this group or the fundraising committee or any groups that you may be a part of that might be interested in having a trunk at Trunk or Treat. We've opened up registration. There's a beautiful flyer somewhere over here that Ashley, our public works parks person, she's very creative and she's very tech savvy. She has oversight of our website, and even though she's very busy in parks, I get to pull her away for a few hours every week to do some creative stuff because I can't anymore. So she gets the joy of doing the fun flyers, and it's also on our website, and it's been pushed out to our social media channels. So please feel free to share and or sign up. What else do you guys want to know about city business? You please feel free to ask all the questions.
Bicycle for the token, yeah.
That would be a fun idea. I'm going to give that to Richie for consideration.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The library will be participating, so I've given that project to Richie. So I think that's a fun idea, actually.
I knew you could be good at that.
I like that. I also did ask Carla to sacrifice the first Thursday of every month for the library, and we now only offer window services that day because we now host the West Valley Services Integration Team, SIT. Whoa, I almost lost that acronym. So that is a team of different community resource and partners all over the West Valley that come together once a month. And we share our resources, and we also discuss funding opportunities, or utilizing funds that that group has to support families that maybe have a specific need. For example, a car repair or gas that they need, something along those lines. So that group now will meet here the first Thursday of every month in the afternoons. And thank you, Carla, for giving me the library for that. It's a wonderful opportunity to bring the West Valley to Willamina. And then, of course, also share the library space with that group, since a lot of their resources are shared out of the library space. So giving them an opportunity to see how that can be done. And we make sure we steal all their resources during that meeting too. So
That sounds really neat.
yes.
Yeah.
When will that be starting?
And so we had our first one this month.
Okay.
And then our next one is the first Thursday in October, which I don't even know what day that is, to be honest with you. So, but first Thursday is when it is, and that'll go through June. That team will be meeting here.
Okay. I was just gonna say, do you have anything to add?
I was just gonna say, if anybody's wondering what kind of job Sarah's doing as interim city manager, it's been phenomenal. Yes, so yeah, it's just phenomenal. We wish one could finish.
Well, you can't.
She can come with me. So I can leave now.
Do you have any insight on when you think you might be making a choice?
Well, that's all up to the gentleman who's running the show. Yeah, I don't know. We have people who have applied, we'll say, and we have to go ahead and review them exactly what it's going to be. I think we're trying to come up with a date where we are. So, yeah.
Cool.
And so if I might add,
You can.
so the position is still open. There are candidates who have applied, but the position is still open for continued recruitment, right?
Yeah, so it'll stay open until filled. The thought process being that it could always go anyway, right? So the city council could decide to choose a candidate and the position filled. And depending on what that process looks like, could potentially take us through the end of the year. My 6 months per charter comes to an end December 10th or right around that ballpark. So, and then, or I guess is the other option, there isn't a candidate that's selected and the position stays open until filled. And then the city council between now and December would have to decide how they would want to proceed after that 6 month mark. I have indicated that I'm willing to help out as much as possible. That's realistic for my work-life balance and the life balance of the library and the city as well. But that's why we've been working really hard to make sure that there are people in the roles over there who can keep things moving forward and are all on a cohesive page of the book and know how to support each other as well. Saying that though, we do have an opening for our community support and code officer position. So Derek did leave us in August to go to the tribe. So we are looking for a code enforcement officer. So we have also taken on some of those roles and responsibilities as well. And we do have a staff member out on a short leave right now too. So we're running a little bit understaffed. So I am doing my best to support the team as much as possible over there, while also trying to support the team over here. We've gotten nearly all of our grants are taken care of over here, and Carla's been phenomenal in helping with that. And we'll get the state statistics report done, and then that should carry us through the end of the year over here.
Awesome.
And this is why we can keep her.
She made it very clear she's coming back for library.
Saving the table this time.
She said, no, we can't.
She's done amazing things while she's been over there. And we built a relationship.
Yeah.
And we've always had one, but there, you know, she's really opened up some
Bridget. And I realized that there's a lot of opportunity because there's always been the library and the library staff, and then there's been the city and the city staff, and there has not been a lot of opportunity for supportive roles to blend over to assist one another. There was many moons ago when it was just one little half-time position over here running the library by herself. But everything has kind of evolved since then, and now the city's taken on all these large infrastructure projects, and the library is thriving over here. So I think there's just a lot of opportunities to support each other. And we started it, and then I think we'll just carry it over as much as possible and moving forward. So I think it would be, yeah, I think it would be really cool, and it'll give us exposure also, and keep us in the know too over here in Library Land of what's happening at the city.
Working with previous librarians, so I think you kind of like that.
So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much. So we're on unfinished business now.
And I just want to say thank you for sharing Sarah with us. We really appreciate it. And
Aww.
I know.
Do we have any unfinished business?
Unless you would like to report that most of you who were there know that the library got approval to be fine free at the end of summer. Which, did I share that before all the that was my very first city council meeting, so I couldn't I don't remember what happened after that. That was what was happening. And I don't remember sharing that it passed. Did I share that?
I think I emailed out
Yeah.
after
There
that
it is.
city council
Okay,
meeting. Yeah.
And I think everyone was present.
Yeah, you attended virtually, and there were a lot of us board members at the city council meeting in June. Yeah.
And that has gone out and shared, and it was in the bulletin, and it's been on the website. So that would have been the only unfinished business. That was the last business of last year.
I shared it with the libraries.
With all the libraries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
Okay, do we have any new business? I did want to bring up a thing that I was thinking of over the summer. And this is not in any way to disparage our beautiful library that we have, but I think it might be good to consider seeing what we can do to get a new library building. So basically, my thought is that a lot of the library services are moving away from being exclusively media and books and things like that, and more space could easily be used by the community for, music and printing, maker spaces, all sorts of things like that. And I figured if we started talking about it now, that in like 10 years, we could break ground on it. So I thought I'd bring it up and we could start just mulling it over in our brains and seeing like if the board thinks it's a good idea or not, and we can go from there.
Can we take over the building next door?
I think about that building all the time.
Like Ronan says that's the old library that, I don't know. He's got this whole history of Willamina in his head, but he's told me regularly, he's like, that's the old scary library that we don't use anymore.
I think about that building, and I think about the old mall.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
And then I don't know what's going on with the West Valley campus, but that's just a resource that is underused big time, I think. I don't know if that's an appropriate place for a library, but
I would be happy to share some information that's, this library, as many of you know, temporarily moved into these walls in 2008, I believe it was. And there were some creative designs and plans made, and talks about the old department store, and previous management had explored some potential opportunities because there's a lack of childcare resources and facilities in Willamina. And a couple of years ago, during the pandemic sometime, there was funding available potentially for those types of facilities, and there was talk about maybe doing like a childcare / library facility. I met with Rural Development Initiatives on Friday. A couple of reps came out from there, and they help to foster growth and development in a community, and really in a supportive kind of way to provide tools and resources to put in your toolbox to help you with growth, such as spaces. And one of the things we did was Amanda is the new executive director at West Valley Community Campus. She reminds me a lot of me when I started here, where it's like so much potential, so much to do, go really fast and do all the things and meet all the people. And she's got great energy. I hope she doesn't burn herself out. If you're listening, Amanda, don't burn yourself out because it's great energy. But there's a lot of opportunities, I think, at the campus. And they have been making progress. So we went down and we toured the building, and they're still working towards their kitchen, which would be a huge asset to the entire community if they could get that kitchen in. But as we also know, that building sat in a terrible state for a really long time and needs an incredible amount of work done, which is going to take some phenomenal funding as well. So Amanda is committed and she is working hard down there, but there is definitely a need for space. So I met today with Ben Smith, and he works out of the Polk County Resource Center. And one of the things Ben and I have been trying to do is find ways that we can bring parent education to the library, and an abundance of community resources to the community in the community. So we're not sending people out of the community or trying to find ways to send them out to get access to the resources. We want to provide that hub right here. But as he and I discussed today, our space is phenomenal, but it's definitely has its challenges too. And then of course we have the space up at the school, which is a phenomenal use of space as well when it's available, since we compete against events during the school year as well. So space is definitely lacking for libraries, especially this little library. We finally, I think I've almost gotten to the point where we could officially say we've probably outgrown ourselves. It took the 6.5 years to get here. I'm fully supportive of Tyler's desire to pursue researching, and it is within the purview of the library board by library board charter, even under the new one approved by the library board in the spring, to research that type of growth and facility needs of the library. So I would just ask that no additional work was put on staff at this time to do any of that research or investigation. Yes. That is my input.
So is that something that we need to vote on, you think? To think about that, or do we just
no, you could ask library staff to continue to add it to the agenda for future discussion.
Okay. Then we are on to public input.
Can I just add one thing? I know the city has two different drawings, if you will, of two different libraries, one in the old department store, and that would be the tear down and all of that, and rebuild around that. And also plans for one over here in the parking lot, which is a 2-story, which would accommodate both the library and the city hall. And then the city hall, as it is now, would be turned into daycare or something. I don't remember exactly what that was. So we talked about it. There are drawings, and it's just kind of picking up the ball and running with it and finding out how much more expensive it is today than years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about construction costs right now.
That was super cool.
That would be really exciting if there's already work done on it, so not just those, yeah.
And not to say that it must stay the same, I didn't use it either, the pictures, if you will.
Excellent. Do you know what that stuff is?
We're at City Hall.
It's over at City Hall and someplace amongst all the things. And I would also encourage the library board in future discussions and assigning tasks to consider speaking with the Friends of the Jefferson Public Library, as they did go through all the growing pains start to finish to put in their new modular library. And they probably would have some phenomenal insight as to how they started until they got to where they ended.
Modular.
It's a modular building. It's a have you been up to the school district? And up at the school, they've got some modular buildings. I'm trying to think where else there might be some modular buildings. They're the newer modular buildings they put in for businesses and development. I mean, they look quite nice. Starbucks went to a modular building design in some spaces, but it's a modular building. So
I'll go to it.
yeah. There's no really good way to describe
Right,
it.
I was like struggling along with you there. I'm like, how would you describe it?
It wouldn't be my first
like
choice of
No.
building, but for if you're up against space and location, I could see where it would be a good fit, but not necessarily here. That's why I'm having a hard time thinking of where the next closest modular building is, because usually you see them in larger cities. But that's been the school district has put several modular buildings in to accommodate their growth up there over the years as well. So
Okay. Public input. Is the public here? Okay. Announcements and calendar. We have trunk or treat. We've already talked about that a little bit. Is there anything more to add about trunk or treat?
LPAC's coming back.
What's LPAC?
That's the thing that you used to come to, the library programming adventure club.
Yeah, for the teens.
First and third Saturdays now.
library programming adventures club for teens.
First and third Saturday.
Tried getting Robbie to come a couple times, but he says he's very busy. I understand, very busy. So
He is starting at the pumpkin patch next weekend, so he'll be busy through October.
Okay.
But maybe after.
For sure, yes.
Yep.
We're gonna be doing lots of fun stuff this year. I've gotten a lot more organized, so we've got some neat plans that I'm hoping to put into place. And so, not saying the teenagers last year weren't really motivated, but there were a lot more of them, and I've kind of curried a list of teenagers that are really engaged and have some really cool ideas. One of them did a bunch of robotics, aquatic robotics up in Astoria, I think. And so they have a lot of really cool ideas for what we could do with the drone, and it's just some like interesting recording ideas. They're also the ones that effortlessly whipped out that art for their character in like 15, 20 minutes while we were all just sitting there talking. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm hopeful that we will have some really cool programs coming up that teenagers will engage with. And, yeah.
Is that, I'm sorry, Richie, is that starting in October?
Yes.
In November.
Okay.
Okay. And that puts us at questions, feedback, / adjournment. Any questions or feedback? I guess the feedback is you guys are awesome. Work hard all the time, you let them go day in and day out.
No
That's
problem.
incredible. And then a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second that motion.
Okay. And we're done. Bang, bang.
Some point when we're models.